The world is waiting. Will the United States strike Iran? After delivering the longest State of the Union address in history, President Donald Trump had the perfect stage to clarify his next move in the Middle East. But he didn't. And now, global tensions are reaching a breaking point. The silence from the White House has created a vacuum of information, one filled by rising military activity and frantic diplomatic efforts behind closed doors. The stakes for global security have not been this high in over 2 decades. This comes during the largest U.S. military buildup in the region since the 2003 Iraq invasion. 2 massive carrier strike groups are currently on station, creating an unprecedented concentration of air and naval power in the Persian Gulf. This buildup isn't just about deterrence, it's a clear signal of readiness for contingency operations. The threat of U.S. military action looms over every negotiation table in Geneva. Both sides are fully mobilized. In his address, Trump referenced Operation Midnight Hammer, the June 2025 strikes he claims obliterated Iran's nuclear program. But the UN's nuclear watchdog has questioned this, warning that Tehran is already attempting a restart. 2 decades ago, George W. Bush spent months preparing the nation for war. This time, Trump has chosen restraint in his public rhetoric. His voter base was promised an end to forever wars, creating a complex political calculation for the administration. The focus now shifts to Geneva for a decisive 3rd round of nuclear negotiations this month. These talks follow 2 failed rounds in Muscat and Geneva earlier this year, making this potentially the final window for diplomacy. The Sultanate of Oman is mediating these indirect talks. Both Washington and Tehran describe this round as a decisive moment that will determine the trajectory of the crisis for years to come. Stakes are at an all-time high. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and advisor Jared Kushner are leading the U.S. team. They are reportedly at odds with hardliners like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who views regime change as the primary objective. This internal divide in Washington adds another layer of unpredictability. While Kushner and Witkoff seek a diplomatic resolution, others in the president's circle believe only a total shift in Tehran will ensure security. Trump stated that he hasn't heard the secret words from Tehran, "We do not want nuclear weapons ever." Yet Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has been repeating exactly that on social media, asserting Iran's right to peaceful nuclear technology. Araghchi has described the talks as a historic opportunity for a fair deal, provided diplomacy is prioritized. But for Washington, the dispute is no longer about words. It is about verifiable proof and inspection access. Technically, the situation is critical. Iran has enriched uranium to 60% purity, dangerously close to weapons grade. Rafael Grossi and the IAEA are trying to verify if Tehran is truly willing to dilute this stockpile. Western powers are demanding strict, non-negotiable inspections. They want to ensure that any token enrichment for research purposes does not serve as a cover for a clandestine weapons program. Verification is the sticking point. Inside Iran, the pressure is internal as much as external. The economy is buckling under crushing sanctions, leading to triple-digit inflation and a collapsing currency that has sparked nationwide mass protests. Basic necessities have become luxury items for many Iranians. These economic triggers have evolved into a broader movement demanding an end to the current government, the largest unrest since the 1979 revolution. Just days ago, a second wave of protests broke out, led by university students. The government's response has been brutal, characterized by shoot-to-kill tactics and a total internet blackout to hide the scale of the carnage. The information war is reaching a peak. Trump claimed at least 32,000 protesters have been killed. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Esmail Bakai called this big lies, yet human rights groups confirm thousands of deaths already. For the first time, Trump also accused Iran of developing missiles capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. This ballistic program is a non-negotiable red line for Deputy Foreign Minister Majid Takhtravanchi. Tehran insists that its missile program is necessary for national defense and will not be part of nuclear talks. This gap between the two sides on regional security remains a fundamental obstacle to any lasting deal. On the Iranian side, Ali Larijani, head of the Supreme National Security Council, is managing the crisis. He is reportedly leading wartime planning while simultaneously managing sensitive nuclear diplomacy for the supreme leader. While negotiators in Geneva appear willing to find a middle ground, the final decision rests with the ultimate power centers, the White House and Iran's supreme leader. Neither side seems willing to back down first. The military posture of both nations shows a high willingness to escalate. The U.S. naval presence is larger than at any point since 2003, and Iran has vowed to make any aggressor regret their actions through its Speaker of Parliament. Eli Gerenmaya of the European Council on Foreign Relations notes this moment is fundamentally different. The internal crisis in Iran is severe, and the scars from last year's 12-day war have made escalation more likely. Last year's negotiations collapsed after Israeli strikes on Iran led to a short but intense war. Both sides are hyper-aware of how quickly a diplomatic breakdown can lead to kinetic conflict in the heart of the Gulf. Will Trump accept a limited deal to avoid another conflict, or will he escalate if the Geneva talks fail to meet his acceptable proposal threshold? The clock is ticking for everyone involved in this high-stakes game. The world is watching. The outcome of these Geneva talks will not just define the Trump presidency, but could fundamentally reshape the entire Middle East for the next generation. Regional stability is on the line. We stand at a crossroads between a historic diplomatic breakthrough and a potentially devastating regional conflict. The coming days will be decisive for millions of people across the globe and the future of the Gulf. Geopolitical analysis has never been more important. We will continue to track the developments in Geneva and the Persian Gulf as the situation evolves in real time. This is a story that affects everyone. If you want in-depth updates on these global developments and the shift in U.S. foreign policy, make sure to subscribe. The next headline may come sooner than expected. Stay informed and stay safe.